Well met, friends, and welcome to the Lore Alliance. This is an account on the oldest child of Samwise, who visited Gondor and was a caretaker of the records of the War of the Ring. I am Pierre, aka Ngoogie, at your service for knowledge about J.R.R. Tolkien's Legendarium. On May 1 in year 3020 of the Third Age, did Samwise marry Rose Cotton. The following year, on March 25th, on the day 2 years after Sauron was defeated, a daughter was born. Sam came to Frodo asking for name advice. Frodo proposed a flower name like Rose had, a custom among female hobbits. Sam concurred, but wanted it short and did not know what to pick, and he said, "It must be a beautiful flower, because, you see, I think she is very beautiful, and is going to be beautifuler still." Frodo thought for a moment. "Well, Sam, what about Elanor, the sun star? You remember the little golden flower in the grass of Lothlorien?" "You're right again, Mr. Frodo," said Sam, delighted. "That's what I wanted." In September of 3021, Frodo gave the Red Book that Bilbo and himself had written to Sam and sailed away from Middle-earth. So the Third Age ended, and Elanor, then only 6 months old, grew up in the Fourth Age. She became known as the Fair because of her beauty. Many said that she looked more like an elf maid than a hobbit. She had golden hair, which had been very rare in the Shire, but 2 others of Samwise's daughters were also golden-haired, and so were many of the children born at this time. This is seemingly related to the gifts to Sam from Galadriel, soil from Lorien that he spread across the Shire after Saruman had been driven out, and the fruit of a golden malorn tree that he planted. In the spring of 3021, greenery sprouted, and it was a marvelous year. The weather was fair, and there was a gleam of a beauty beyond that of mortal summers that flickered and passed upon this Middle-earth. All the children born or begotten in that year, and there were many, were fair to see and strong, and most of them had a rich golden hair that had before been rare among hobbits. Elanor, as noted, had sisters. Indeed, in the following years, Elanor would get 12 more siblings. In year 16 of the Fourth Age, Aragorn and Arwen rode north, for they had restored the old kingdom of Arnor. Aragorn honored the hobbits, especially his old friends, and Elanor is made a Maid of Honor to Queen Arwen. In year 22, Master Samwise and his wife and Elanor ride to Gondor and stay there for a year. At age 31 or 32, Elanor the Fair married Fastred of Greenholm on the Far Downs. 3 years later, they had the son Elfstan Fairbairn, their only known child, but, knowing hobbits, likely one of many. In year 35, Fastred was made the Warden of Westmarch, the outer western region of the Shire. He was appointed by Pippin, who was the Thain of the Shire. Fastred and Elanor made their dwelling at Undertowers on the Tower Hills, where their descendants, the Fairbairns of the Towers, dwelt for many generations. The Tower Hills lay near the Grey Havens. In year 62 of the Fourth Age, Eleanor's mother Rose passed away. That autumn, her father Sam, at age 103, left the Shire for good. He comes to the Tower Hills and is last seen by Elanor, to whom he gives the Red Book, afterwards kept by the Fairbairns. Among them, the tradition is handed down from Elanor that Samwise passed the towers and went to the Grey Havens and passed over the sea, last of the ring-bearers. This is the last we hear also about Elanor, who we may hope lived to a ripe old age. Finally, it shall be noted how J.R.R. presented the book Elanor took care of, with further notes and additions by herself and her family, as the key source of The Lord of the Rings. This account of the end of the Third Age is drawn mainly from the Red Book of Westmarch, that most important source for the history of the War of the Ring was so called because it was long preserved at Undertowers, the home of the Fairbairns, Wardens of the Westmarch. I hope you have enjoyed this account, and if you have any questions or reflections, or if there is any topic that you desire in the future, feel welcome to leave a comment below. Take care, until next time. Namarie.